What's going on, guys? Honky Kong here. Welcome back. You know I had to do a video and talk about this North Miami police shooting. This one is absolute certified first ballot Hall of Fame in the Keystone cop shootings that I have covered in the past and talked about. I mean, this is right up there with the that dick, that South Carolina State Trooper Sean Gruber, who told the dude to get his ID when my man reached for his ID. Gruber pulled out the gun and just shot like 11 rounds, and unfortunately only hit him once. I mean, this is an awful shooting. Real quick though, just got home. Looks like there was some type of shooting in Munich, Germany. Looks like maybe some surprisingly no Muslims were involved. So automatically, you think here of an attack in Europe, it's automatically I'm thinking Muslims because it happens all the fucking time. But this looks like it was some right-wing nutbags shooting up a mall or McDonald's or some shit. Apparently one of the dicks is dead and there's a couple more on loose. So hopefully they take these fuckers out pretty quick. So I'm moving along to the shooting down in Miami, man. This one is so ridiculous. What happened was there's a dude, I think he's 47 or 57 years old. I believe he's 57. 57-year-old black dude named Charles Kinsey. He is a caretaker for autistic people at a home in Miami, okay? A 25-year-old resident, I believe the dude was 25. I was going to say he's 25, whatever. 25-year-old autistic dude escapes from the home. Sitting in the street playing with the toy truck. Just sitting there fucking around, right? Charles Kinsey is there trying to get my man out of the street and back to his home, okay? So some dumb dickhead citizen calls the police talking about there's a guy with a gun threatening suicide, okay? Just a quick FYI. If you have a relative or somebody you know is suicidal and you call the police, there's a very good chance that they won't need to kill themselves, because when the cops show up, they will kill them for you, all right? Or they will kill them for themselves. I don't know how many times I've seen cops show up, people call the cops because they have a suicidal relative or loved one, the cops go ahead and kill them. If they see any type of weapon, real or imagined, they'll fucking kill you. Oh, I was afraid for my life. That's what we always hear from these fucks. So in this case, the cops show up, they hear gun, there was no gun, there was never a gun present. They hear gun and the 911 dispatcher, suicidal, so they're like, oh, we're gonna show up, he'll have a gun, we'll get to shoot him and kill him, and then we'll go home. It'll be a great day, we'll get to kill somebody, have a good time, and get away with it, as usual. So they get there, and Charles Kinsey, right, in the video you can see, I'm sure you guys have already seen it, Charles Kinsey's talking to guys, so he lays down, he's got his hands up, Kinsey does. He's laying on his back with his hands in the air, like, okay, don't shoot me, everything's cool. He's like telling the cops are whipping out their guns, probably got their ARs and shit, got their fucking shotguns and their pistols. And I'm surprised they didn't have a SWAT team there with an MRAP or some shit. The cops, we need all this gear now. I'll get into that shit in a later video. But, so the cops show up and Charles Kinsey's telling him, hey, you don't need all the guns. He's just got a toy truck. So Charles Kinsey's laying there on his back, hands in the air. Some fucking dumb dick cop fires 3 shots at him. Hits him one time in the leg. Thank God he didn't. Okay, now I've heard, thank God he didn't hit him in the chest or the head and kill him, but he hit him in the leg. Kinsey's going to be all right. He's going to recover. That's not my point. The point is, this cop shot this guy who posed no threat. Zero threat. Neither he nor the autistic boy, or man rather, presented any threat, but the cop fired anyways, 3 times. Now, there's two different reasonings I've heard for the cop fire. Now, Charles Kinsey claims he said to the cop, why'd you shoot me? The cop says, I don't know. Which, probably is legit, because cops are so fucking stupid. I could see them doing, I don't know why I shot. I just probably, just probably thought it was good. You were threatening me or some shit. That's what these stupid fucking pigs normally say. Some dumb shit like that, But, cop shoots, fires 3 shots, hits him once. Typical, stormtrooper-like marksmanship accuracy possessed by the fucking American police force. And says he doesn't know why. Now, I've heard 2 different theories released, okay, as to why the cop shot. 1, it was an accidental shooting. 2, apparently an unidentified police union representative say it was an accident, okay? Now, if it's an accident, I want to know, how did he fire 3 rounds on accident? The only way I could see, number 1, there's no such thing as an accidental shooting. You have to pull the trigger. You can pull the trigger, I guess, on accident. I don't know how that could possibly happen, but there's no way a weapon just goes off on its own. You have to pull the trigger, take safety off, pull the trigger. That's the only way it's going to fire. So he accidentally pulled the trigger either 1 time or 3 times. The only way I could see him pulling the trigger 1 time is getting 3 shots if he has like an M16A2 that has a 3-round burst selector on the select fire. Like instead of semi, you got safe, semi, and burst fire, 3-round burst. So you pull the trigger 1 time, it fires 3 rounds. Now I would assume if the civilians could say, hey, he fired 3 shots. If you fire burst fire to A2, it's going to shoot so fast, a civilian would think they heard 1 shot. They're not going to know, oh yeah, that was definitely a 3-round burst. So I'm assuming he probably shot him with a pistol or something and just started shooting, fired 3 shots. Now, the second thing I heard was the cop fired because he thought the toy truck was like. So the cop was the second theory. The cop was actually shooting at the autistic dude because he thought the toy gun. Or the toy car or toy truck was a gun that he was about to hurt Charles Kinsey with. So shooting at so if that's the case, he fired 3 shots at the autistic dude, missed him, and hit the fucking guy he was trying to protect from the non-existent weapon wielded by the autistic guy. Our police in this country are just such fucking jokes. I mean, my God, what do we have out there policing our streets? This is just yet the most recent example of the absolute epitome of an unprofessional cop. I don't even have enough time to sit here and make fun of the dude and take as many shots at him, no pun intended, as I would like. I mean, I don't, of course he's suspended. I'm sure he's suspended with pay. Oh my God, I watched the fucking news conference by the police chief. The police chief is a Haitian dude who's been a cop for 30 years. This motherfucker's accent is so bad, they legit need to translate that shit into English. And standing next to this fucking clown, this guy who barely speaks, his accent is so thick, I can't believe he lives in America. I think, you would think he was fresh off the boat, like how thick his accent is. Like, you cannot understand what this motherfucker says. He's been here 30 years, and he's the police chief in North Miami. Some bitch is standing next to him, some black chick wearing like a fucking, I don't even know, it's like a fucking leather cowboy hat with a badge on it. I mean, I'm like, the real crime here is the hat this bitch is wearing at the fucking press conference. I don't know what else to say. Law enforcement in this country, you dumb fucks wonder why people are attacking you. Look at what you do. Look in the mirror, you guys. Look at what you fucking do. You're shooting a caregiver of an autistic dude who was trying to do his job while he's laying flat on his back with his hands in the air. And you wonder why you're being targeted. God almighty. Until cops, I'm not comparing cops to terrorism here at all. I'm not saying cops are terrorists. But you always hear people talking about, Muslims talking about, oh, we're not all terrorists, we're not all terrorists. But the problem is within Islam, you need to clean out your own house. And it's the same thing with cops. The problem is with you guys covering up for each other and having each other back. Cops are the first ones to go after people for the no snitching culture. Say, people don't tell us who the victim was, or who the shooter was. Victim blackmail, suspect blackmail. They don't want to give no names. But you guys do the same shit. You guys cover for each other all the time. Cops have a wall of silence that is very hard to get through, man. Cops are always covering for other cops. Cops don't run bad cops out. That's why we keep seeing this stuff happen. So, I mean, it's like a vicious cycle. But in closing, hopefully they lock this idiot cop up for, he should at least go down for manslaughter, attempted second-degree murder or something. Take this guy's badge, take his gun. What, buddy? Lock him up for a couple years. Let him sit there for a year or two. Charles Kinsey's about to get paid. He's about to get a bunch of money. He ain't gonna have to work at that place anymore. So speedy recovery to him. Thankfully, the autistic dude wasn't hurt. But it's gonna be interesting in the future to see what really comes out. Why that cop pulled the trigger? Was it an accident, or was he really aiming at the autistic dude and just instead hit the other unarmed guy who was lying flat on his back with his hands in the air? All right. Absolute joke. That's all I got, you guys. Thanks for watching. Everybody be safe and catch you next time. Peace.